You write a poem and it'll be so phenomenal, and then you'll say, well, I'll remember that tomorrow. And then you get up and you can't get any of it. The morning breeze has secrets to tell you. Do not go back to sleep. Use those hours. And forget about this idea that, let's see now, I went to bed at 11, and if I get up at 3, that means 4 hours, so I'm going to be 4 hours deficient all day long. I'm not going to be... Forget that. You've got an eternity to sleep. An eternity to sleep. And when you learn to meditate and get quiet and get peaceful, you can always, in 20 minutes time of meditation, any time during the day, get the equivalent of a full night's sleep. Don't go back to sleep. I'd like to speak in this program about what I call the rewards for inspiration. Things that will be your payoff, your prizes, if you decide to move into spirit, into this world of spirit that I'm speaking about here on PBS. Back in the 2,300 or so years ago, we're not quite sure exactly when, there was a great teacher in India. His name was Patanjali. And in all the research that I've done on Patanjali, there's not sure if it was one person or a series of people or whatever it is, but it's great teachings, and I've immersed myself in the discourses of Patanjali and the sutras and practiced it. And one of the things that Patanjali, who was teaching people about being miracle workers at that time, teaching them about things that no one had ever heard about before, about the power of the repetition of the sound of the name of God as a way of manifesting something into your life, teaching people about being invisible, stuff that's a little bit strange, but that's, it's like being 65 has its advantages, because I can talk about things that are weird, and I usually point it out so you don't think I don't know that this might sound a little strange. But I would like to suggest to you that he offered something about inspiration that I want to offer to you. And there are 6 of these things, and I want to cover each one of them in this program. He said, when you are inspired by some great purpose, some extraordinary project, all of your thoughts break their bonds. Your mind transcends limitations. 3, your consciousness expands in every direction. And 4, you find yourself in a new and a great and a wonderful world. Dormant forces, faculties, and talents come alive. And 6, you discover yourself to be a greater person by far than you ever dreamed yourself to be. Those are the rewards. It's not like you're going to win the lottery. It's not, and you may. It's not that somebody's going to come riding into your life on a white horse or whatever. These are the rewards. These are the things that are going to be so powerful for you. The first of these is what? When you are inspired by some great purpose, some extraordinary project, 1, all of your thoughts break their bonds. All of your thoughts break their bonds. What do we mean by your bonds? Your bonds are the thoughts that you have that keep you disconnected from your source. They are thoughts that are out of harmony with spirit, with God consciousness, with God realization. Because this is basically about being like God, being like source, being like spirit, being like divine mind. In everything, in every thought, in every action, more and more, connecting yourself back, catching yourself. So, the bonds are the ways that we think. I'd like you to imagine a ladder. And this ladder has 10 rungs on it, from the floor all the way up to the top of the ladder. And at the top of the ladder is the highest rung. And at the top of the ladder are the words, "This is my desire," and it's aligned with spirit. Again, this is my desire, and it's aligned with spirit. So what is your desire? My desire is to manifest abundance into my life. Perfectly aligned. We came from an abundant source. My desire is to feel a sense of well-being in my body at all times. Perfectly aligned. My desire is to have divine spiritual relationships in my life. My desire is to get the job that I am working towards getting. My desire is to live in a place where I feel most peaceful and most loving. My desire is, and whatever it is, it doesn't make any difference. It's the 10th rung, the highest rung. It is your spirit aligned with your desire. All right? So here it is. It's right up here. Now you have to ask yourself the question, what is it that I offer up to this 10th rung desire? All right? A 10th rung has to have, in order for it to manifest and show up in your life, it has to have thoughts, feelings, and behaviors that match up to that. And if they don't match up, you get out of harmony. See, thoughts are energy. Like everything in the universe, it's energy. Einstein said that nothing happens until something moves. It's all about movement. It's all about energy. And every thought that we have has an energy component to it. We can measure our thoughts and how they impact us, whether they strengthen us or weaken us at any time in our lives. All right, so there's a wonderful book written about this, and it's called Ask and It Is Given. And it's The Teachings of Abraham by Esther and Jerry Hicks, a book that I read frequently, and great teachings, I think among the greater teachings on the planet today. In fact, I wrote the foreword to it. It's something that I very strongly embrace. And they talk in there about how to manifest your desires. And the mistake that most of us make is that we attract what we don't want because our thoughts are on what we don't want. Or we continue to attract what's missing in our life. We're not at number 10, we're at about number 3. And what are some of these on these lower rungs? It probably won't happen. It's very difficult. These kinds of things have never happened for me before. I don't have this kind of luck. We've got the wrong people in the White House. The economy is bad. I don't have the ability to make it happen. I don't really believe it's possible. I was on the plane with someone flying across the country. Lovely lady, and she was a photographer. And I said, we got talking about photography and all. I said, do you like photography? She said, yeah, I do weddings and all of that. And I said, well, how are you doing at it? She said, well, I'm never going to get rich at it. And I said, would you like to get rich? She said, well, of course. Who wouldn't want to be rich? We all want to have abundance in our life, of course that. I said, so let me see if I understand this. You want to attract being rich into your life, and your thought about it is that it'll never happen. So what do you think you're going to attract? You're going to attract, it'll never happen. And that very simple little example, it's an innocuous example. She was a very bright and intelligent lady. It wasn't about that. It's about what kind of energies we have within ourselves that we offer to what our desires that are aligned with Spirit in order for them to manifest. And every thought, if you have a second rung thought that it probably won't happen, it's not likely, it's never happened before, just not the way it works for me, always been missing. As long as you think like that, and you're in a universe that operates on this law of attraction, you will continue to attract it. A man named Albert Einstein, who I've spoken about before, theory of relativity in a bowl of soup. This is a lot of hair, remember? One of his most important observations was this. He said, every single person in the universe has to make the most important decision of their life, which is, do I live in a friendly universe or do I live in a hostile universe? That's it. Now, if you believe that you live in a friendly universe, then you will begin looking for a universe that cooperates with you in order to manifest what it is that you want to bring into your life. you'll be looking for evidence that what it is that you are seeking is coming towards you. If you believe you live in an unfriendly, hostile universe, you will take a different position. You will believe that these kinds of things are not going to be attracted to me, and you'll start with this whole notion that you'll become one of those people who are always looking for occasions to be offended. And there's no shortage of occasions to be offended, and there's no shortage of these people. I mean, all you got to do is look at somebody who's tall, somebody who's short, somebody who speaks with an accent, somebody who wears their hair in a certain way, somebody who has jewelry that you don't, whatever it might be. If you're looking for occasions to be offended, you'll be finding all over the place. If you're a person who believes that you don't live in that kind of a universe, you'll start this, and this is the key. What you want to say to become inspired in your life, to have all of your thoughts break their bonds, is this. What I desire, which is aligned with Spirit, is on its way. It's on its way. If you believe that it's on its way, then you will start looking for occasions for it to show up, rather than occasions for it not to show up. And then you will start acting on every tiny little clue that shows up in your life. Even obstacles become just something like, oh, this is just another test. You know, I can pass this test. It's not going to be difficult. I'll get past it. And you can not bog yourself down in all the reasons why something won't work. Instead, you make the shift. It's on its way. I desire it. There's nothing for me to fuss about. There's nothing for me to worry about. I will not be in a state of anything other than anticipating that what I intend to create is on its way. One of the people in my life that demonstrates this quality over and over again is my beautiful daughter, Sky, one of my beautiful daughters. And I asked her to write the theme for this program. I called her one morning. I think it was about 3:13. I was on Maui and she was in Florida. And I said, honey, You Inspire Me is the title.